Hello everyone, it's Nasaria back with more speculations on where we're going to be going in 2025. Some more clues have dropped. I want to go over some of the new clues and some data that came out because I think we could be going to a couple different places this year. Make sure you watch the entire video so you see all of the clues and know all my theories. And as always, if this video interests you, hit the subscribe button, like the video. It helps me keep making videos just like this. And with that, let's get started. Now, there are two videos that I have done previously that I think would be helpful to watch before watching this one. So if you haven't already seen my video on the letter that Matt Fiore released and the video where I make my initial guess on what the DLC will be, go ahead and check those out because they have some good information on some of the big changes that are coming in 2025. I'll link the cards and add the videos to my description as well so they're easy for you to find. Now, with that being said, I did predict that we would be going to Black Marsh and specifically to the Thorn March region for a variety of clues, mostly because of Sanguine and his involvement and the fact that he's in a public dungeon in Shadowfen, but there were a lot of other little clues there as well. But now that we know that we aren't getting one big chapter, I think there are several clues that have come out that indicate where we could be going in 2025. Now, the first big release from a data mine that people on Reddit were posting about is that the key word for the chapter this year is solstice. So what comes to mind when you hear solstice? Well, a lot of people went right to Solstheim, the island that is off the north coast of Skyrim, which could be the case, but I don't think, again, that they're gonna go there just yet with the 15-year anniversary of Skyrim being next year. I think that's when we're gonna get into a deeper dive there and see some more of the Skyrim region to kind of go with the nostalgia there of celebrating that anniversary. But what else has a solstice? Well, we just passed the winter solstice, which is the shortest day of the year. And there's also a summer solstice that happens right around when they would normally release a DLC, right? It's in June. So this is pretty significant, I think, since they chose the solstice. What zones do we know that have summer or winter in them? Well, the first and most obvious is Somerset. Now picture this. They just announced that we're going to be revisiting zones and getting new contents and updates from past zones so that we can go back, revisit these stories, see how the characters are doing. I even said in my DLC video, how cool would it be to go back and hang out with Razumdar in Somerset, maybe get a visit from Val Seren and the Sijic Order. I think that would be so cool, and I think a lot of people would be really excited to go back to Somerset. So this is a win-win for them to make Somerset one of the first zones we get to go back in. I think this would make a lot of sense for this to come out because I also mentioned in my previous video that Razumdar has an important mission coming up in Black Marsh. Well, what better way to set up that story and set up that new zone than to go back to Somerset, check in with Roz, and maybe do some preparation for the mission in Black Marsh. So I really do think that we could be going back to Somerset in March when we get some of the new content. Maybe we'll get the Fighters Guild involved. There have been a lot of Meridia hints in the Crown Store release. So we could possibly be getting another visit from Darian. We haven't heard from him since the Somerset chapter where he sacrificed himself to revive the Dawnbreaker sword. But there have been hints to his well-being, and it doesn't seem like he is gone from the game. So we could get another Darian appearance, which a lot of people would be excited about as well. Or maybe just something with Meridia that could be involved with Black Marsh. Who's to say? Another clue I saw that really tipped me off that I think we're going to be going to Somerset at least some point this year is when they posted the New Year's Eve celebration image on Instagram. Now take a look at this image. This screams Somerset Harbor. It has the sands, the kelp on the beach, those cute little crabs that scurry around all over Somerset, and those iconic bottles that just make me think of the bottles you find along the beach. They're all over Somerset, the zone, the Sijic Order. Everything about this image to me is saying that we are going to Somerset. Now, another reason that I still think we're going to Black Marsh is all of the Sanguine mentions that I mentioned in my previous video. He's also in the Crown Store lore release that came out. He's going to be the free ESO Plus statuette. I think that's a huge nod and another tip that we are going to be doing something in Blackmarsh with Sanguine. There was also a little tidbit in the lore that was just released on the site. It says that the Heart's Day falls in the same date as Sanguine's so-called Summoning Day, when he may apparently be summoned and contacted by mortals. The New Life and Witches festivals also share their time with incantory days of Clavicus Vile and Mythala, respectively. Could it be dangerous to celebrate these holidays? And in response, the impresario talks about how these days are just replaced. It's kind of one way from transitioning from Daedric holidays to what we currently celebrate now. But she mentions at the end, the real danger, Jester's Fest, building to something nasty. But you didn't hear it from me. And we all know that Sanguine has made an appearance as a new quest in the Jester's Festival that came out a year or two ago, where he has us find Daedric performers who perform a show and then go back to where they came from in Oblivion. So I think this could be another hint that Sanguine is involved somehow. The Jester's Festival is right around when we would be getting this new content as well. So I think this is another huge nod to Sanguine and his involvement, whether it's going to happen in Somerset or in that new Blackmarsh chapter. I'm pretty confident that he's going to be involved. Now, another thing to note is that traditionally Gabrielle, who we know and love from the Mages College, would write these lore master tidbits. But this time, Amelin is stepping in because she said that Gabrielle's been called away on important business and she left the series in her hands. She says, "Don't worry, you should only have to roll along with me for a series or two before she returns." So I think this is another nod to possibly getting some new Mages Guild quests. It could be involved with Darian, since Gabrielle was actively looking for him in the Dark Brotherhood DLC. So I think this is important for several reasons. One, Gabrielle's part of the Mages College. They said they wanted to do more Mages Guild content. And two, we get a lore posting every 3 months or so. So if she's gone for one installment, that would be right around the March timeline when we're getting more information. And if she's gone for two, I think that could be the second part of where I think we're going later in the year to kind of wrap the year up. Since we're getting more chunks now, it's not going to be that one big release. So I think we could be looking at getting another new zone or possibly revisiting an additional zone besides Somerset as well. So back to the solstice, circling back here, I promised Gabrielle's involvement will come back, but back to the solstice. We have the summer solstice. We also have the winter solstice. Where else have we heard winter? Well, of course, everyone would be so super excited if Winterhold were to come to Skyrim as part of a zone. And I think that this could be a really great way to transition into getting a bigger piece of Skyrim in 2016. They mentioned that they would be releasing smaller pieces so they could 100% just open up Winterhold the city as new content for players to get into and start getting excited about Skyrim, possibly going to Whiterun, maybe some other places that we know and love, the Solsteam Island. But I think this could be a really great way to finish out the year, and it would go with the solstice theme. On top of that, there's a famous Mages College there, so this could be exactly where Gabrielle is going right now. She said that she's on an outing, but what if she's actually going to Winterhold to investigate something related to Darian? Maybe it's related to whatever we're going to be doing in Blackmarsh. I think that this could really tie in the entire storyline together and bring us to Somerset, Blackmarsh, and Winterhold all in 2025. On top of that, like I said, she's from the Mages Guild. We could be seeing some quest lines in the beginning of the year that are going to lead us to Winterhold and lead into new content there while revisiting some older zones. And a lot of people are thinking that because Scribing came out this year, it's going to lead us to the Mages College in Winterhold, maybe add some additional features or content to the scribing system, which would also be really cool. So I think there's a lot of potential for this to be where we're going in 2025. That's all I have for you guys in this one. I'm keeping it short since I've already done a video on this, but I found some additional clues and I got more excited because I think I'm really onto something here. But let me know what you think. Am I totally wrong? Have I missed clues? I'm really excited to hear what Gina and Jessica are going to say on the live stream on the 9th. And I'm even more excited for more information to come out in March. I am absolutely dying to know what is going to happen with the game. And while a lot of people are worried about seasons, quote unquote, I do think that this could be something really positive and bring more people back to the game, give us more reason to go back to other zones. And so I'm really excited to see what happens here. I want to give a shout out to my members. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. As always, subscribing to my channel and liking this video is also a huge help. I really appreciate every single subscription, so thank you so much. Click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.